So, today we have a whole lot of exciting things to talk about. First, we are going to dive into a scientific conversation, and then I'm going to give you visual proof of somebody who's grown their bald spots back. Through the science, we will discuss in this.
But, okay, this is kind of off subject, but not really. I don't want to forget about this, so I'm bringing it up now. One of my pet peeves, because I'm a nerd and because I dove so deeply into the hair growth cycle, understanding the hair growth cycle, and not only that, being a person who dealt with hair loss, the first thing you want to do when you deal with hair loss is try to be a mad scientist. Like, I don't care how many years the hair growth cycle take. What can I put on my scalp to make it last a week? I want the hair back tomorrow. Yeah. But you can do that. We've tried. I'm pretty sure you've tried to shorten it up. But we simply can't. But every time you go online, though, you see a new product, a new oil, a new grease, a new tea that you drink and you rub on your head. You click your heels together 3 times and then your hair gonna grow back, right? Yeah. And I think one thing, the very first time I talked about it, it was with a dermatologist, but she was like she talked like fast and it just didn't get over well. Yeah. But if you could put this in your own words, my view and my take on it, especially when we're talking about something like, just using this for an example, like a Myo Organics or Miracle Drops or Beyonce's new stuff, right? What people don't understand is, well, you said before, what you was like, it's not about what you put on the scalp, but what you take away from it. And what people don't understand is, they're not taking anything away from the scalp. And these people that are making these products are not stupid. They know that. So they make products and sell you something that is going to dissolve what's on your scalp. And underneath the things that were on the scalp preventing your hair from growing, the hair growth cycle was happening. There was hair there anyway. But now that it's gone, now that nothing's blocking it, the follicles be like, oh, the door's open. Oh, okay, we can get out intelligent and we can grow. But the hair was already there. Yeah. But the way that they market oils and butters and all these hair growth products, it puts people under the preconceived notion that the hair was non-existent. There was no follicle being produced within the gut. There wasn't nobody in there. And then you put this product on the scalp, and all of a sudden, it go into your scalp, go all the way to your gut, start producing cells in the anagen phase, and get from anagen to canogen to telogen to estrogen, all in a week.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and here's why you're right. You're absolutely right, and here's why I know that, because I have been forced to try to take bald skin to terminal hair. And my biggest issue right now, and I'll say this right here on the internet, somebody will put this video up in like 2 years, that's fine, is that you cannot force the time of the body. I've tried my best to try to speed it up, and it's going to do its pattern and it's going to do its functions because there are multiple things going on underneath the surface. But that's my biggest. Growing hair is not hard, but those stages, it wants to go through those stages. And when you talk about anagen, catagen, telogen, and exogen, which is to exit out the old hair, I look at it like this: you have creation, you have sustainment, and you have destruction. And that's like the universe. A star is created and it sustains like our sun, and then eventually it becomes a supernova, then it destroys itself and everything around it becomes a black hole, right? Which is the exogen stage. And then when you look at anagen, catagen, telogen, exogen, what you're looking at is the life cycle of a person. Anagen, you're born, or the morning time. Then you have catagen, which is the afternoon or evening, those. And then you have the sleeping time where that will be what is that? That'll be telogen, and then the exogen is when when you leave and pass on. So those stages cannot be rushed. You cannot take a baby naturally, right? And say, okay, now you're 6 weeks old, and I'm going to force you now to be 4 years old within that time scope. So it's the same exact thing when it comes to hair. It's going to say, I'm 6 weeks, now I'm 8 weeks, now I'm 2 months. And then in that 2 months, it's going to do things that a 2-month-year-old do versus a 7-year-old does. So hair's the same exact way. So when they come on these sites, man, and they say, oh man, use this oil or use this serum, and then they show like the AI grow this hair out, I'm like, man, y'all making a lot of money, but that's all y'all really doing. Y'all not really changing people's life like that. And it gives people the wrong impression when you're really trying to help them. Because I get it a lot too, that, hey, no, how long would this take? You're looking at 6 to 8 months before you see if it's working or not. They're like, wait a minute, this is saying in 2 months. I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're not talking about you. I don't know who they're talking about, but they're not. I don't know who they're talking about, but they're nobody. In 2 months, they're going to take a ball or suffering hair, and now it's going to be something you can pull on. It doesn't work that way. And the reason why that's true too is because both men and women both have issues with our hairline a lot of times, but it's for different reasons. And that is a difficult thing to fix. But they're saying all you got to do is put this lotion on or this oil on. I'm like, that's BS. It's BS. And I hate that it's so much ads now, and it's so much people, and they're using the same psychology of people, and it's really hope in a bottle, because they realize that they can always blame you if it doesn't work.
Yeah,
they can always say, look, you use the oil, right? Yeah. So, but what was your diet like?
Yeah.
You use my oil, right? Yeah. Did you exercise during? Like, what does it have to do with it? You say your oil was going to do what it does, but that's the way they get away with it, man. So you can never really prove if it's working or not, especially if it smells good and it makes your hair shine.
That is so true. And to me, that goes into what I was talking about with the dermatologist. She said the same thing. She was like, literally word for word, what you just said is hope in a bottle, is marketing. It's supply and demand. That's the easiest way to make money. Okay, if I want to make a hair product, and this is just being real authentic, if y'all feel the way, y'all feel the way. This me saying this, not AQBS, okay? If somebody wants to make money, right? And I'm the person who wants to make money is in black, white, Mexican, forget it. It doesn't matter. It's just a person who wants to make money the fastest way. If somebody was to ask me that, the fastest way to make money would be to make a hair product for black women. Specifically, not for women, for black women specifically, telling them, this is a hair product, and it doesn't cost you anything like for you to do yourself. All you have to do is put the product on your hair and let us do the rest. It is easy. You're going to make money fast. Why? Because we are looking for, not me, y'all are looking for the quickest thing that requires the least amount of accountability.
Of effort.
And the easiest thing to give you would be a product that will go on the scalp. But the gag is, the majority of black women that are experiencing the hair loss, that are really, really going out and making these brands popular, are in their 20s, right? So most of your products, most of your balding and stuff like that is coming from you clogging the pores. The last conversation me and AQBS had was about plaque and the different layers of skin. So if you're only 25 years old, you've only been responsible for doing your own hair for a little bit of time. So the plaque it could still be there, but it's not as thick, right? The layers of dead skin could be there, but they still may not be as thick. So with my organics, for an example, with her having that extremely high concentration of essential oils, which is meant to do nothing but dissolve, and you're putting that on the scalp every day,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's going to dissolve some things. And if you stop, right, once your hair starts growing, you could be under the illusion that this product made your hair grow, when in reality, all it did was dissolve, right? And that's why I'm glad you brought that up. And in conjunction with what you said about apple cider vinegar and the product that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that when I say, oh, don't use apple cider vinegar, I cook with apple cider vinegar. I use apple cider vinegar for a lot of things. So I'm not like, oh, you're going to hell if you use apple cider vinegar. But it's just like putting it on your scalp for hair growth. That's not what it's for. Putting it on your scalp to cleanse it. That's not what it's for. Like honey. Honey's great for you, but it'll mess up your car if you put it in the gas tank. It don't go in there.
Definitely. Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar, it's amazing. You can pickle vegetables. It has so many amazing benefits for the inside of the body, or to break up plaque, or all of the other things on the scalp. But it's not a hair growth product. So that's the way that I want y'all to look at things. Even when we're talking about like hair products and these oils and butters and greases and things of that nature. Okay, it always has to go to why. And my question to you is, do you think people have really do you think people, men and women, go through the process of asking themselves the question like, why am I using this? And what am I using it for? Or do they just go straight to, it'll give me this manifestation?
Yeah, I think when you look at hair as a plant, I think that's actually what confuses us. And although there is some similarities in how the growth of it and what it looks like, but I think when you look at a plant in your house and you water it and it grows, it's like, okay, on the the dirt, I'm gonna put the water in there. I got aloe plants. I do it every Saturday. That's it. So I think that's what confuses us. So it's very easy to say this topical will make your hair grow, but a lot of times two problems could occur. They're almost opposite, but it's two problems. Number one, is it going to get through the scalp? A lot of stuff, especially when you see hair loss there, whether you're a woman or a man, a lot of times you have to think about it this way. If it's hair loss in this spot, then underneath that spot is a problem. Mm-hmm. So do you want to get oil there? And what is it going to do? And what is it going to carry there? Number one. And it's probably not going to get through there because when you have a balding scalp or hair loss, it's a tissue problem. And that's a word that we don't use a lot when it comes to hair loss or hair growth, is tissue. What is the condition of the tissue? And using stuff on top of tissue that has a problem.
Can you break that down for them a little bit? Like the difference, because I think that'll go over.
Like tissues. Okay, so like healthy tissue. Healthy tissue is going to be tissue that's soft. You're going to see your hairs grow out there. It's going to be 3 or 4 hairs in your follicle. It's not going to do a lot. It's not going to have a lot of oil in there. It's not going to be tender to the touch. There's not going to see red splotching. The immune responses such as acne, when you see the acne, the oil, the pain, any type of immune responses on the surface, I will always say, look at it as 3 times worse. Because if you see redness on the epidermis, then what is occurring beneath there? Because that's the true problem. Just like hair is a manifestation of the gut. So if you're losing hair, then there's some problems internally. It's the same way with the 3 layers of the scalp. So the other 2 problems I was saying is it going to get through the scalp? And you've said this before too. Yes or no? Okay, more than likely, a lot of oils and stuff, they say that. How is it doing that? Like seriously, how? Because the skin and the scalp is meant to keep things out. That's its function. Its function is to say, look, I don't want anything in here that's not coming from anything in here I trust. Anything on the outside, I don't really trust you like that. So it has to get in there. And when it does get in there, now it has to carry something important. Okay, what are you carrying? Like, let's say coconut oil. What are you going to carry with that? Something that's going to make the follicle grow well. Actually, if you look at the follicle as it's connected to a vessel, I don't know how much more it's going to do for you. So can it get to there? Probably not. And if it does, what is it carrying? And a lot of times what it does do though, is it gets into that follicle pore, or it gets into your pores, and it creates inflammation over time. Not the first time, not the second time, but as time goes on, your body gets rid of it. You don't notice it's getting rid of it, but it does. But a couple of months down the line, you're like, wait, I was growing hair just fine, and now all of a sudden I'm losing hair. I need to switch my product. But you just now seeing what was occurring right in the beginning. It's just your body was really great at fighting it off, but eventually it gives up.
Because sometimes I've seen, you know how we always say like our bodies, we like train our bodies after, like you just said, after you do something so many times and your body fights it off, your body's like, okay, maybe this is something new. Maybe this is what we're doing now. Okay. And then your body stops fighting it off. Then the cycle starts where your immune privilege is gone because you keep filling it up. And before you know it, your hair is thinning out. That was great.
And I came across your page on YouTube, and I just want to tell you, sis, you are doing the damn thing. Okay. You are doing the damn thing. And I'm so glad I came across your page, because I was struggling with my hair growth. I had locks for 10 years. And I wasn't an avid, like, I wasn't one of those lock heads that had to get their hair done every 4 to 6 weeks, because I loved how my roots would grow out, and I didn't want to add a lot of attention to my hair a lot of times. So at the time I decided to cut them in 2016, it was because they were just popping out of my head, and like my roots would be thick and beautiful, but they were just popping out of my head, and I couldn't understand why this was happening to me. Like, I just thought it was some type of alopecia, like alopecia areata or whatever, and didn't take no thought to the bad hair care practices, because nobody was telling me. I was never told my whole life, you know. And so I went many years with struggling to grow my hair. At one point, I began to get some traction, meaning my hair started to grow, and I had a bush, and I went to this hairstylist to get my silk press, to get a trim, you know. And then about 6 to 8 weeks later, I went back the second time to him, and he burnt the shit out of my hair in the back. And I was just, when it was time to wash my hair in a couple weeks, I felt like it still smelled like burnt hair. And I knew he had burnt a chunk out, but he didn't tell me, because my hair is so thick that I guess he thought she's not going to tell. And then he didn't have, you know, he just didn't tell me. So after that, I got really discouraged, cut all my hair off again. And since then had struggled with growing my hair. I went back to relaxers, and I'm going to be honest, and relaxers just aren't for me anymore. I think it's because my mom started putting relaxers in my hair way too young, and my scalp just went through so much. So I just wanted to go team natural, and just realized from listening to you, I was doing the natural thing just all wrong. From utilizing plastic caps on my head at night to all the dumb shit, you know. And so finally I said, okay, I'm going to do what she says. I'm going to try to see what happens. And I'm telling you, I wish I took pictures, because I remember you said in one of your videos, take pictures as you move through your journey so you can see the progress. I could definitely see the progress. If I sent you pictures, you wouldn't see the progress before now. So I feel like it would defeat the purpose. But I want to tell you personally that you are doing amazing work. And that is definitely working for my hair. My hair is still short, cut really short, very short TWA. But what I didn't mention is that maybe back in 2009, I had some trauma. I had experienced some trauma to my hair where my locks was pulled out of the scalp and it left me with a bald spot. And that spot, you know, I wasn't familiar with going to the dermatologist for my scalp. I just didn't know what to do. So basically the locticians at that time would just cover it up and just pull the front up and do all types of stuff to camouflage. And over the years, it would just became a part of me. Well, I can tell you now, although I may never get that density back, my natural density in the areas where the locks cause damage to my follicles, I am getting growth there. So much so that I see follicles that are that wanted to unclog themselves, and I've experienced like 3 whiteheads up in the front. I might send you a picture so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never had whiteheads on my scalp in that area all these years. Like, I thought these follicles were dead, but that was kind of telling me that these follicles are still alive, you know, and they're starting to become unclogged because I am doing the scrub. I wash once a week, and I do a scrub on my scalp. Now I do a pre-poo. It's just like the aloe vera leaf, and like the aloe vera straight from the leaf after I've soaked it overnight in some oil, and then I'll get under the hair steamer and I'll do that, massage my scalp, massage my hair, and then I'll wash my hair with a hydrating shampoo, and then even the areas that were bald are starting to show growth. And even though it's not as dense as the other parts of my hair, it's starting to grow. Those follicles are coming back to life. And I just want to thank you so much. I did go through the itching phase. I remember a video I watched where you said the first 2 weeks, you know, you might go through itching, and it's okay to wash your hair within 48 to 72 hours after washing it. And that's just what I did for the first 2 weeks, and it helps a lot. And although I've been married to washing my hair once a week, I'm now at a place where I wash it when my scalp tells me, okay, wash it. So it could be like a little past a week, maybe instead of 7 days, it might be 9 or 10 days. You know, like I wash my hair on Sundays, and sometimes I can go until Wednesday where my hair still feels like it's moist and my scalp feels good. And I've also incorporated those massages at night, which I do believe is helping a lot. But girl, I just want to tell you, you are doing the work of the Lord. Keep it up. I tell you, when I first came across one of your videos, I was kind of offended and was like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And I found myself back into another video of yours, and I just began to watch and listen. So I just want to say thank you so much. I really hope that you do conferences and travel all across the country, because now I have to go through my closet to get rid of a lot of the hair care products that just didn't mean me any good, and it hurts to let go, but because that's money I spent, but it gotta go because I'm never going to use it, you know what I mean? And so thank you so much. I appreciate you. You are doing the work, girl. I love this for you. I see you continue. I pray that you have continued success in your business and your CYNPLE apothecary. I pray that you continue to see just success, and that you will take this education across the country somehow to educate, you know, Black women in their hair care habits. And I think that's where the healing will really come in, because it's a shame that we've been taught that. And you're absolutely right. They see us coming and we buy all these products. So anyway, girl, thank you so much. You are doing amazing work. And yes, it does work. And I just want to let you know that it was so much to type. I couldn't type it. So if you want to use this voiceover for just to encourage your fan base and encourage your supporters, you may do so. But thank you so much. And you have a blessed day.
In 2025, we are learning that whether you believe in the science or not, the science believes in you. And whether you think that these things are true or not, the truth reigns. So if you are a person who is dealing with balding or thinning, if at one point in time you were following Team Natural and you are ready to break free from that, then make sure you check the links in the description box below. Yes, there are free courses here on the course tab within YouTube, but it's only going to give you the information to get you started and get you to start unpacking these things. But if you want the routines and the patterns that get you the results that you see here on the screen, then click the link in the description box below and join either the Growth Cycle Blueprint or the 7-day challenge. Through Sizzle, you have the ability to take both the 7-day hair growth challenge or the Growth Cycle Blueprint with just 4 payments, right? You can break these payments down, get right to work, become a part of the group, and we will have regular conversations when you need help. Along with our quarterly live check-ins, you can get to the end of this, because hair loss is not the end, balding and thinning is not the end, but it is imperative that you do the work in gaining the knowledge that you need to undo the things that have been put in place by the old patterns and routines that you've been following. This doesn't have anything to do with shame. This is not to shame you. It is to let you know that the story that they've been giving you guys, they are not true. The oils, the butters, and the greases that you've been using on a regular basis only lead to inflammation that you will at one point end up coming to see me or somebody like me to fix. So before you get to this point, or if you've already done this and you're ready to get out of it, then again, make sure you join one of my courses, get one of my ebooks, purchase some herbs, look through my herbal playlist or in my herbal course so you can figure out what these herbs are going to do for the body. I love you so much, and I really want you to make sure that you are taking the time to learn this information and take the time and learn the information, not only so your hair can grow back, but so you won't constantly be manipulated, because I'm going to keep bringing on other scientists, other cosmetologists, so you can hear this from other people and not just me, because the truth of the matter is all of this truth that I'm giving you is truth, whether you want to accept it or not. So the question is, are you going to transition now by choice, or are you going to wait until your scalp and the appearance of it forces you to change? It's up to you.